Welcome back on Riverside TV to the campus of California School of the Deaf Riverside, where today the Cubs battle the Maryland School of the Deaf Orioles in a big 8-man football matchup. Two great teams in America meet today, Nick Rice and Jeff Gorham, in what should be a good one.
Hey, you forgot to say the state champion California School for the Deaf Riverside. I mean, we're talking a back-to-back champions from really one of the greatest coaches we've had in the city of Riverside. Coach Adams has done a phenomenal job at the helm of CSDR. It always helps, though, when your sons are All-Americans at this level. I mean, he's had a few sons. That one plays at Gallaudet is a quarterback out there, and his young son right now, which is playing, he is a phenomenal player. Could play at any high school in the area. And I'll tell you what, this is a fun brand of football.
Well, we picked a good matchup because defining state champions to the Cubs will only be half of the narrative, because the Orioles of Maryland School of the Deaf are also back-to-back state champions up in Maryland. Frederick, just outside of D.C., there is the club right there in the Orioles. They not only are reigning champions, but are 3-0 to begin this year.
Yeah, and think of it this way. The only loss, I think, last year that CSDR suffered was at the hands of this Maryland team. I think it was a 2-point loss. So a revenge for California is on the plate today, Nick.
Yes, and to get it started, I'm Nick Rice, and that is not only the mayor of Riverside, but one of the most famous people on Overtime.
Overtime? Yes, whatever that. I've made it. I've made it viral. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I always think when you say viral, I think of antibiotics. But no, it's kind of nice that Riverside TV is getting all the success, and we do a great job here in the city of Riverside. I think nobody does it better than we do here in the entire country covering high school sports.
Well, you may think that, but I know that. All right, we are not only a good program here, but we are an award-winning program in the Riverside area.
Yeah, I've won all those awards. What are you talking about?
All of them.
Wow. I have a bunch of them sitting behind my desk on the at the set of Riverside TV. Look at this, though. I love it. The slapping of the knees, and here we go.
Zeke Ortiz, the kickoff man for Maryland. That kick is out of bounds, so the first penalty flag has been thrown today. And for CSDR, we will get a first look at the son of head coach Keith Adams and Caden Adams, the quarterback of this offense.
Yeah, Keith Adams, a very good friend of mine. We share a lot of texts, and I like to give him a hard time on over the phone. And I'm one of the biggest fans of the Cubs. You know, Pep Fernandez and I have been following CSDR for a long time. I know my sign language here. Here you go. I'm going to show you right now. Ready? Okay. That means win Cubs.
When you slap
both hands together, and you put it up and then you put up like Cub ears, and that means Cubs win. Look at our dear friend, the white hat, Ron Wade. I had a nice chat with him before the game. A longtime referee, a Hall of Famer to say the least. And as we're getting set here to go.
Well, Ron Wade and those other white hats, about a 80, 82-degree day with just beautiful skies for today's Saturday afternoon battle between Maryland School of the Deaf and California School of the Deaf Riverside. They may break a bit of a sweat out there today, but it's all in good fun.
Beautiful day. It's not 116 like it was 2 weeks ago.
Should certainly be the type of weather that helps the offense. Not that they needed any help. Adams evades the pressure on the first play of the game and picks up about a yard, where Josue Sanchez makes the stop for Maryland School of the Deaf. Unlike the Cubs, who seem to roll through just about everybody, like you mentioned, this should be a tight back-and-forth battle in today's game.
Well, CSDR so far this year is averaging 68 points per game. They've scored 68 twice. Is that what it is?
Yes.
So they're averaging 68, but this game last year, you said the score was 14
to 12. This year, CSDR is beating their opponents by an average of 41 points, blowing out Foothills Christian and Avalon to start the year at 2-0. They had a bye last week, and they welcome in a school out of Maryland. Just another one of the many out-of-state schools that introduce to the city of Riverside and Riverside TV. We did have a penalty on the play, so the Cubs will set up a 1st and 15. And Adams is yet again stuffed to the line of scrimmage. You know, to think that last year the Cubs only scored 12 against this team when they averaged 68 shows you how good their defense is. Adams and the Cubs, second down and long coming up.
Yeah, and if you think about it, you watch these games, 8-man football is a completely different animal. If you're watching for the first time and wondering why, there's 8 players in the field is actually shorter, it's a lot like arena football, if you've ever watched that. High-scoring affair, you get a lot of big plays. But like you said, these two teams battled it out to the lowest score I think CSDR had last year was that 12 points. And this is going to be a fun one.
He'll throw it deep, Will Adams, and the pass is caught at the 30-yard line by Gio Visco. Those two couple as quarterbacks and also as receivers, Adams to Visco for a big first down.
Boy, how long have we talked about Mr. Visco the last couple of years? He has really come into his own. They're very athletic. Between Visco and Adams, they have some playmakers. Look, here's the replay. Just a perfect toss. And Gio Visco, who was the Press Enterprise Player of the Week 2 weeks ago.
Caden Adams on the call picks up about 5. You can see his development also to Jeff Gorham as, the coach's son. That's got to be pretty difficult to, earn your respect with the team. When I used to play, and I used to have my dad as a head coach back in the days of, back when I was in high school. It was kind of tricky to have everyone, buy in to coach's son playing, but these guys are bought into Caden Adams playing.
Well, when you win championships, you have to. I mean, and, these guys are around each other all week. Some of them live here on campus, and they're a family, and that's the one thing, I've grown to know Coach Adams and his family, and that he's a family dude and a family man, and I'll tell you, these are all of his players are his sons as well.
Matthew Sauvé picked up 5 and a first down on that last run. Orsi Peterson made the stop. Caden Adams will be dearly missed, not just by the coach, but also the team at the end of this year. But in his senior season, he has played very well at quarterback and also has been a capable runner. On first down, they'll line up out of the pistol and go with Adams off the play fake. And he crawls ahead for a couple on the ground.
So this will bring up a second and looks like 8. Second and 8. I like the colors, though.
Yeah.
Maryland's got some sweet. Do you know what an Oriole is, by the way?
Oriole. Is that a bird?
You got it, yes.
Yeah.
So you get the first question correct.
All right. It's not a panda, by the way.
No. Remember, you said on our last broadcast, you and I worked together, eat more panda.
Yes.
Because it was Chick-fil-A.
For those of you wondering what we're talking about, I think Jeff Gorham is wondering, too, as Matthew Sauvé picks up 4.
Yeah, we had the Chick-fil-A
cow,
but you thought it was a panda. And they're like, hey, look at the Chick-fil-A panda. And I said, well, I guess we're eating more panda today. So PETA's not real happy with you, Nick Rice, and for the right reasons. You said let's eat an endangered species.
Oh, are they endangered?
Yes, they're endangered. Man. For gosh sakes. 3rd and 4.
Let me do Nick's job.
There we go.
Adams for a couple. A strong stick in the middle. Tahoe Herzig Wilcox for the Orioles.
This will bring up 4th and about 5. And of course, there's not a whole lot of kicking game going on in these 8-man footballs, so they're going to go for it.
Yeah,
not 4-down territory.
They haven't really needed field goals this year, but from the 9-yard line, they'll go for it in a tight football game early. Adams flips it to his right, and that pass to Zaremka is knocked away. And the Oriole defense bends but doesn't break.
Yeah, great jump the gap there from the defender. I believe he was it number 2 there?
Jaden Orsi Peterson. 6'3", 190 pounds. He plays both ways. You can look at him yet again on fourth down.
Well, you got to figure they got to play both ways. There's only about 15 guys on their program. So you got to figure there's 8 there. You got 16 guys. 16 guys.
16 guys. That's it.
That's it.
I wonder if any of those don't travel On their roster for Maryland School of the Deaf, they have 17.
So maybe somebody is just not dressed or injured. Here's the first play from scrimmage.
5'11", 190-pound quarterback Zeke Ortiz on the direct run picks up about 5. The dimensions of the football field for 8-man football is, I believe, 40 yards wide and 80 yards long. So a little bit tighter than a typical football field for CIF play. You can see it, CSDR by the middle of the first quarter of our last Riverside TV broadcast at 21 points on the board. But this should be a tight game, unlike the typical arena football style. Gain of about a yard where Darius Zaremka wraps up the ball carrier, Josiah Lockhart. Here's a look at that play again.
Well, this is going to be a fun one. This, I'm not too sure we're going to see 60-something to 30-something today, but this will be a close one. Like I said, 14-12 in the last meeting, the lowest score that CSDR put up all last year.
Another design run from Ortiz, the quarterback, who finds the seam to the outside. Picks up the first down where Zaremka makes the stop. Today's showdown features a battle of two blue blood programs out of California School of the Deaf and Maryland School of the Deaf. Keith Adams is the head coach on one side. The other side for the Orioles is Neil DeMarco, fourth year as head coach of this program. And under his watch, Maryland School of the Deaf has 30 wins and just 7 losses, along with a pair of state titles.
Wow. Do we have Coach Adams' totals?
Yeah, 59 wins, but 39 losses. A lot of those came early in his career, as this team missed the playoffs a few times, but obviously as of late they have been outstanding. A total of 37 wins and 3 losses in the last couple of years.
So just getting rid of that football, getting it out of bounds here.
There's number 2, Gio Visco. He should be the starting quarterback for this team next year, should Visco, as Caden Adams is a listed senior. Visco was a majority starter at quarterback last year, and then Caden Adams is taking control of that spot this season.
Well, Caden Adams is, like I said, I think he's built like a true linebacker, and I think he can play on any school here in the city of Riverside.
5'10", about 200 pounds, a good run to the outside, and a first down as he slides in front of Visco to move the chains. Number 3, Tahoe Herzig Wilcox with another big run.
So that'll bring the sticks, move them. Yeah, this is a pretty quick first quarter here.
Sure is.
Normally these quarters last about an hour each. These are like 4-hour games.
Right.
This is a battle in the trenches.
Sure is. This offense is scoring 44 a game, and the Cubs are scoring 68. So both teams are going to have to, change their game plan a little bit. The man in motion, Mark Gwynn, they'll go run. That is some hit on the outside by number 8, Luca Visco. Another Visco kid.
I'll tell you what, they're going to keep the ball on the floor here, I think, most of the game. If you can run the football, they're going to keep it on the turf.
Not on the floor, right?
No, not on the floor. You don't want that.
No.
No, like I said, last night there were more fight. We had the Friday Night Pep Rally last night on Riverside TV. In the highlights, I have never seen so many fumbles in my life. Wow. I said, hey, you got to walk around the campus. Give the football to your running back and quarterback, and when you see him on campus, try to hit that ball out of his hand. He'll learn real quick not to fumble.
Just all day.
All day.
Caden Adams, as you mentioned, built like a linebacker. How about that hit on Zeke Ortiz?
But, yeah, when I coached football, I coached with a guy named Mike Churchill, who's going into the Riverside Poly Hall of Fame next week.
Wow.
He coached the national championship team at RCC, and he won several CIF championships at Notre Dame, Poly. I was his assistant, and he did it made his running backs walk around campus, and anybody that walked by him, they had to try to get the ball out of it. And he would give guys sandwiches if you could get the ball out of the running back or quarterback's hands.
Well, speaking of that, we do have a fumble on the play right here.
I was hungry.
Yeah. We do have a flag down, but there is a fumble recovery by the Cubs. Let's check out that play again.
Ron Wade right there on the call. Known Ron for 115 years.
Wow, how is that even possible?
Let's see here.
Boom.
Oh, they're going to say he was down by contact, knee hit the ground.
You can hold that football all around campus all day, but there's nothing quite like a helmet getting punched right into your midsection.
Your solar plexus?
Solar plexus, is that what it is?
Yes. You're 1 for 1 today. You knew what an Oriole was, so I should have asked you what the solar plexus were.
There must just be birds everywhere up there in Baltimore. You got the Baltimore Orioles,
there you go.
Baltimore Ravens.
That's nice. There you go. I was going to lead you with that one if you didn't know what the Oriole was. So it's going to bring it back to 3rd and 12.
Well, a broke clock is right twice a day. It's like, okay, let's look through the list here. Second third down try of the day for the Orioles, and this one won't gain much at all. And you got to believe they're going to go for it. Number 3, Tahoe Herzig Wilcox on the run.
And Ben Summerlin, the offensive line, he really made a big play there. Number 66, really to open up that right side of the line to gain that. So it brings up 4th and 8?
Yeah, so he's out of the game as Summerlin. There isn't a single Oriole player who's over 200 pounds except for him, who is listed on Max Preps at 280. He's out on a 4th down. They may go with the they'll run the ball to the outside, and it was a well-designed play as he gallops across the first down line in front of Matthew Sylvie.
So big 4th down conversion there. Not a lot of kicking going on here.
Not at all.
I'll tell you what, I would go out and recruit the soccer players, and I would it's an 80-yard field.
Right.
If you could have somebody just kick, I'd just kick anytime you're within the field goal range. But a big first down and great run there over the top.
Zeke Ortiz.
Got our friend John Rice here, another broadcaster here on Riverside TV. We'll get him on here in the second quarter as the Rice brothers.
That's right.
We can talk a little football here as we're winding down the first quarter here from Riverside. No score. Who would say that was the fastest first quarter in the history of high school football? But it comes to a close as we wrap up and switch sides. I'm going to turn the headset over to my friend John Rice here, and the Rice brothers are going to talk for a few minutes. I'll be back in just a moment.
All right, we're live. Welcome in. City of Riverside TV, Maryland School for the Deaf, and California School for the Deaf, Riverside. John Rice, welcome back.
Hey, good to be here. What I noticed right away was the tremendous athleticism of the Orioles. And so now you got a good defensive ball game, and you got them trying to hold on to the ball. Different strategy than we saw here a few weeks ago when we saw them play Foothill, where they were throwing the ball all over the yard. And now
were they ever? 68 points in that football game, and a whole bunch of touchdowns.
Yeah, and now what you see is just a different strategy. You see yards hard to come by. You see tackling, penetration, open field tackling. You see yards hard to come by, 4th down conversion. Possession's going to be at a premium, it looks like.
Yeah, we'll get to all the game plans, but also, John, I'm curious, what was going on with you yesterday? You were honored.
If I could get the honor that Bill Powell got, he's in another league. Just that man was honored for all his contribution to San Jacinto football and putting that program together and building it up for 16 years, 120 odd something wins. They named the field Bill Powell Field, and he
All
had
right.
just dozens of football players come back, his staff, administrators. It was a pleasure and an honor to be a part of that, just to be there to support him.
Bill Powell of San Jacinto.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and we got lucky enough to coach at Pauley a little bit. I asked him to coach, and we were together for a few years. So I was blessed to have that experience.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be shocked as they go run here. In fact, he'll get the corner,
There you
and
go.
Tahoe Herzig Wilcox has the first points of the day. Is there a flag down? I don't see it. So that is the first
Super.
points for Maryland
Super.
School of the Deaf. But like I was saying, I would be shocked if Keith Adams doesn't have this field named after him at some point.
And the honor is really not just how many games you win. There's so much more than that. How much the community supports you, the life lessons and the leadership you provide, the positive experience, the expectations academically, and it's just an honor if you're remembered for that.
Right.
Instead of just wins.
Yeah, and for Keith Adams, he is just a terrific man in the community and was named the IE Varsity Football Coach of the Year, regardless of any division. Keith Adams, he's been recognized as one of the best. There's Gio Visco for the stuff. Maryland School of the Deaf, 9:23 to go in the half, up 6-0 on a touchdown run from Tahoe Herzig Wilcox.
And they earned that drive. They
Sure
earned it
did.
a few yards at a time. No surprise, I walked up and saw the Orioles in black and orange.
Right.
And it was pretty easy to tell right away.
Yeah, looking like the MLB team over there in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
We saw one long CSDR drive end with a turnover on downs, and then one drive for Maryland School of the Deaf. At this rate, it seems you've got to pretty much put up points on every possession. It's some hard-earned football out there today.
At a premium. So listen, when Mr. Gorham comes back and he asks you why they are
Oh,
orange
man, they
and
got you
black.
set up for this?
No, but I'm just telling you that if he tries that, you just laugh at him and tell him Orioles are, and I'm sure you knew that, but I bet he'd come
Right.
back and tease you about that one.
Oh,
But they're,
He's
we've
been
there
taking it
once.
easy.
we were lucky enough to go there once for a football trip and go to Baltimore and see the Orioles play and go see a couple, some of his favorite subject, Edgar Allan Poe, signs, because that was his town. So anyway, we're looking forward to a great ball game here. Great football, great athleticism. This is going to be a tough, low-scoring game.
Absolutely. 14-12 was the score between these two last year. Matthew Sauvé off of the Ortiz kickoff of the flag down spins to about the 40-yard line. A good return from Sauvé as they sort this one out. Last night, Chuck Chastain actually came in to color commentate for us in the Notre Vista game, and he had talked about just the incredible value of a team playing road games, and I talked to him about that could have played a role in Notre Vista's playoff struggles as they hit the road really for the first time all year in the playoffs. The camaraderie you build, the chemistry with a program, it really does wonders for a team.
That's a great observation. And also, if you can win on the road when things don't go your way, when you may get the perception of the crowd screaming against you, a home crowd, maybe you get a bad perception of the refs, which is not true. But, you get that you can use that for motivation as well. We're on the road, nothing's going in our favor, we're going to have to beat the odds. So hopefully Coach will be ready to hit the playoffs, and Mr. Gorham thinks you're going to go 10-0 apparently, and I think they have a good shot at that.
You talking about Notre Vista?
Oh yeah,
or you talking about
Notre Vista.
CSDR?
No, CSDR.
Probably both.
And this will be a big test.
Yeah, if they're able to get past these guys, first down for Gio Visco. And Chastain had talked yesterday about, a lot of the challenges about showing up in a different locker room and having a different routine and all that stuff and not being able to dictate things. That goes a long way into how challenging it is for a road team.
Great observations, all that. Getting on the bus, getting out of your routine, traveling. Again, and you have Maryland coming here, which is definitely travel. They're not at home.
Right.
The sleep differential is different, and so that's another thing. You're playing on the road. You'd much rather play at home if you're going to, travel. It's not a it's not a great opportunity to sit back and get in your normal routine. Like when we would travel for different programs, a lot of times you do that and you sell it as to the booster club as we're going to sightsee, we're going to go see this, we're going to go see that. And sometimes the focus gets a little distracted, so you have to keep the kids to have a good time in that balance of practicing and keeping the focus. And when game time comes, you got to throw all the sightseeing out the window.
Right. Luckily for CSDR, their bye week came at a very important time because practice for all the CIF teams in Riverside and really in Southern California was impacted by our tremendous wildfires we had here, and a number of CIF teams had to cancel. So I would be curious about your thoughts about CSDR and most likely practicing indoors last week.
Another distraction, and we had Travis Carter talk about that during the fire week, is you have to, it's not optimum, but you have to use it to your advantage. The attention span's a little bit different, but I'm sure that they're an experienced ball club, they're an experienced program, and they're going to have the adjustment made, and you have to adjust, and overcoming adversity in a lot of different forms goes into football, and that includes when there's fire and weather here. Because the heat here, obviously, that happens a lot during the first couple weeks of the season. Usually.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's like Tuesday, and last year we covered a team in Central Florida who flew out the day before Hurricane Sandy hit there. And they were able to play us at CSDR. So it was, in a way, the game was perfect because it took them away from the disaster, and then they come back and have to deal with that. So that's all just a part of it.
Wow. And I'm sure there may have been some. Hopefully, everything went smoothly.
Right. Everything.
And also here today. So what you see is the yards are at a premium. There's not the big play. There's a lot of athleticism on the field. You can see the difference, I think, from what I saw 3 weeks ago. The difference in athleticism for the visiting team is profound. I mean, they're all over the place.
All right, Adams is stuffed here by Zeke Ortiz 3 weeks ago playing Foothills Christian. Adams most likely could have had a takeoff lane there, but it was all shut down. This is a well-defensed, well-coached football team in Maryland School for the Deaf.
And I'm sure that Coach loves to play this team.
Neil DeMarco, their coach.
DeMarco is not afraid of a challenge, and you want iron sharpens iron. You want to take your program to the next level. You're always going to seek challenges to help your program get to the next level. So you can tell they're a well-oiled team. Look at their athletes. They're playing deep, ready for the deep
Adams
ball.
goes deep on a 4th down, and that is some catch by Gio Visco, who's in for the touchdown.
Wow.
Did he step out of bounds? The officials are talking about it, and Visco doesn't like the call.
And what I was talking about pre-snap was they kind of knew that was coming, and they were unable to defend that, despite the fact they were playing off. They were playing off, and they got past them and over the top. I mean, look at the replay. They got that's their common formation for them. 2 backs, 1 step and throw. 1 step and throw. Ball's underthrown a little bit, and great catch and recovery. Do you think he stepped out?
No, they're calling offensive pass interference. Part of why he was so wide open. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we'll get It was a good look from our camera crew there to catch the play. If you thought the Visco conversion was tough, this is going to be a very challenging 4th down. And if they don't get it, this could absolutely be a huge momentum swing.
And they have another flag.
Gio Visco, number 2. What's really interesting about 8-man, that's a false start of the offense, 8-man is that a lot of these guys have a bunch of statistics for playing quarterback, running back, receiver, and defense. They play almost every position.
It was fantastic to see them employ that strategy against Foothill. And I think the few times we saw them play that empty formation, we may have had couple of violations on how they lined up and who was covered. And so going empty, they're going to make sure everybody's lined up right. And I think they're going to come back again.
Any chance they punt this, Coach? 4th down and very long?
In a normal game, no chance. I would say because of the respect for the opponent, we'll find out. It's a long game. It'll go toward their confidence. Right now, you'll find out whether they're going to punt or not. What do you think?
Giovisco looks like they probably will.
Okay, there you go.
The old fake throw, fake punt, and punt. And he'll drive that one all the way to about the 23-yard line with 5:51 left in the first half. You know, this is a very interesting game. A week ago, possessions don't really matter too much. In this game today, possessions are at a huge premium.
So two possessions
For the Cubs and
the
one
Cubs.
for the Orioles.
So they go on offense for the second time after having a long drive, eating up a lot of the clock, right? First quarter was over. Just started the second quarter, and then we'll see how long they can play keep away strategy. And I'm sure that's part of it is keep the ball away from the Cub offense.
So Zeke Ortiz is their quarterback, and I would, assume they're on a lot of that read option stuff, that the defense, I mean, they're almost in like a bad position no matter where you are trying to cover two things at once. There's a tackle, well-coached defense there. But even with the shorter field, it is a challenge with an athletic quarterback to be able to, stop him with the two things he can do.
Oh, sure. And also when they want to run the ball, and that's one of the CSDR's base formations, is to have two running backs to lead block. And they tried that time with a wing and a back, and Cubs are all over it.
Mm-hmm. Now, luckily for CSDR, we saw it there. Giovisco, 6'2". They have Darius Aremka, good receiver, at 6'5". If they have to throw the ball late in games, they have a couple of guys that can go up and get it. Of course, the defense is going to need to stop here. But it looks like Sauvé, aforementioned, is offsides.
Yep, the motion, I believe that we did not see that the entire first game against Foothill. Either team used motion. That's the first. I don't know what happened the first series, but it's the first time I've seen that from either CSDR or an opponent. And it was enough to draw him offside.
Now, this is a non-conference game, so these challenges are all very important just to kind of see new looks in preparation for CSDR's first league or second league game in a few weeks.
And then hopefully they will be able to get some recognition and maybe go on to a state level playoffs. Coach talked about them. Foothill coach also talked about them not being recognized fairly, and that they thought it was a state championship game for Southern California because neither one of the teams was picked to go on. So maybe the Cubs can come up with a big win here, and having be at Foothill, they may get some more consideration when the committee meets for the playoffs.
Yeah, to my knowledge, CSDR won it in 2021 and 2022, and won their final game last year against Faith Baptist, but did not get recognized as title winners, just as, I believe non-Division I region winners. A couple of yards there on the ground.
And they, of course, you want to be recognized to win a state title, and that's so hard to do when there's a state playoff system, and there is some subjectivity in who you pair up and who gets in and who doesn't.
And that's why this game today is so important. To get back also to the point we were talking about with those road games, I'm sure over the years you scheduled a lot of long road trips to kind of build your team. But CSDR is about as ambitious a program as I've seen in any man football, let alone 8-man football. They have scheduled in the Keith Adams era teams that play in Indianapolis. Here's the Ortiz stopped on a third down.
Wow.
Central Florida, Vancouver, Washington, Phoenix twice, and then a home-and-home against this team in Maryland. They just are very ambitious on their schedule.
And that builds confidence, I'm sure. That builds a confidence and an expectation. Though they were a little bit upset about the extracurricular activity at that one. And you love to see them playing hard, borderline there, refs kind of telling them. I mean, watch the swarming defense right here. I mean, this is crucial. And that is just keep moving.
Caden Adams, number 5, stopping Ortiz.
There's no whistle blown right now. There's no whistle blown. They're just playing the whistle. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, he's looking for his flag. You can see there in the back, and apparently he doesn't throw the flag, but it looked like he was reaching for it.
Right. They did give him forward progress.
They did. Wow.
But nonetheless, it's a little different, the extracurricular, because, of course, some of them may not be able to catch that, official's whistle.
I know, and I am admitting my shortcomings. I'm not sure how that's handled.
Yeah.
How do you play the
Right.
whistle when you can't hear the whistle? So I plead, I need to learn about that. I don't know
Right.
how that happens.
That's why we're here, and I
Yep.
know Jeff Gorham knows everything about that. But Keith Adams and Neil DeMarco, the two coaches for them, these are a couple of blue bloods. CSDR, Maryland School for the Deaf, playing today. A Tahoe Herzig Wilcox short touchdown run early in the second quarter. The difference in this game, 6-0.
Well, they're holding on to the football again, keeping running time off the clock. Every time they have a possession on their run clock, they're keeping the ball away from the Cubs' explosive offense, which is a strategy in itself.
Right.
So I can't quite see the clock on the time. Can you see how? I can't see how much that is.
3:33.
There we go.
We should be about right.
Just want to hit myself.
Sometimes-
I hit myself on the head there, and now
Listen,
smart myself.
sometimes
Holy moly.
this score is a little off here, so I'm giving you a break.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. 3:33. It's right on the clock.
Listen, I can't see that either.
But
Just so
they've
you-
run. Okay, to our point is they've run up and are close to holding them to 2 possessions in one half if they can run the clock out here. And what a strategy that is. I don't think they've seen that too many
especially
times.
considering the Orioles received the opening kickoff of the second half.
Wow, and
So
this
this is
has
a
been
big drive.
Yes.
They'll go ground, and Herzig Wilcox gains a couple on the ground.
And the clock continues to run. And again, the Cubs have had 2 possessions. They may only have 2 possessions if the Orioles have anything to say about it and are able to run the clock here. Now, the clock stopped right now. But when the Orioles get the kickoff in the second half, depending on the time run out, you may be through part of the third quarter.
Over half of it, potentially.
Half potentially, and have the Cubs not have a chance to have their third possession yet.
2 possessions for the Cubs, a turnover on downs and a punt. Orioles, a touchdown from Herzig Wilcox, and now their second drive is near midfield. And number 12, Mark Gwynn III, dances ahead to about the 34-yard line where Luca Visco makes the stop.
That was a really nice cutback. If you see the replay, you'll see him do a little what's called a jump cut. He jumps back to the right. He faces a wall here, sees it's closed, jump cuts to the right, finds an opening backside, and makes another man miss and gets another 6 or 7 yards. Nice play.
Gain of 12 overall from Gwynn III. Nick Rice, John Rice, we're on hand from the campus of California School of the Deaf Riverside. Glad you're with us. Herzig Wilcox with the short touchdown, 6-0 Maryland School of the Deaf. Out of Frederick, Maryland, an hour outside of D.C. and Baltimore. And yet again, Gwynn III, but on forward progress, moves ahead for a couple. You can see the Cubs, they've been on defense a majority of the half. They look a little tired right now.
And he made every yard count. I mean, he seems to be stopped on, and yards after contact here, which we've seen has been really, really good.
Yeah.
Contact.
Here he is, hit first.
Okay. Fights, keeps his feet moving, falls forward.
Look at that.
Wow. And again, running the clock.
Credit Chris Bonita for moving him in front of a couple Cubs defenders. In fact, the Orioles better be careful here to run the clock right.
Minute 22, second and long.
And Visco stuffs the running back with 1:17 to go in the half.
And they're going to be able, you want a flag. They're calling for a flag.
In the game you guys did with JR a couple weeks ago, there was quite a few flags in that game.
Yeah, that was uncharacteristic. And you don't see that so far. And it's always good to see that they play that out of their system because that was something. And again, they get that out of their system. The timing goes, the comfortability with each other. Early in the season, that usually happens to some extent with most teams. There are higher incidence of penalties. So, again, you're down to 43 seconds and counting. The Cubs, it looks like, okay, they're going to stop the clock here. But it looks like it's going to be third down. They're going to try to get one more possession, and they've only had the ball 2 possessions.
Two
and
possessions,
I would guess,
and they're just running that clock. Ironically, a couple weeks ago, I'm sure you were looking at the clock thinking it never's running out, and then now for the Orioles, they have almost no time.
Now, to give the Orioles credit and CSDR, that was a San Diego CRF champion. That is a storied program, and that was a score fest.
68-28.
And should give you some degree, I think, is appropriate to the level of their opponent, the level of excellence of their opponent, and how tough of a game this is.
And the schools that are out there in the East Coast, they had a 2-point win, Maryland did, in the opener against the Covenant, a school in Charlottesville, Virginia, and then they beat Chalker 42-22, a team out of Southington, Ohio. Up there in the East Coast, they've got some good football teams.
And they're traveling. They're not afraid to travel, both of those being out of state.
They did the Ohio thing, and then they play school at Delaware next week, Delaware County Christian, on the 28th.
Nice scramble. And you're down to out of bounds 37 seconds. So what you're going to see is them playing 4 games in 4 states.
Woof.
Not very common.
Racking up the mileage. 34 seconds left in the half. Maryland School for the Deaf. Not a lot of time home with family.
And I'll tell you, to be confident enough in your defense and adapting, and I looking at their scores, they're obviously not being held to many points in their other games. So they have decided by their strategy they're going to do exactly what they're doing and keep the ball away. And again, they have less than 10 plays, I would guess, so far on offense for the Cubs.
Around there. They did have a relatively long first possession, but the second drive. And
short on downs.
The Orioles have not attempted a single long pass. I mean, their game plan has been ground and pound. The Cubs, to the contrary, they've taken a couple shots, just haven't been able to connect.
And we've seen a couple of short conversions, fought for extra yards. So I would guess they may be employing a 4-down game plan on offense, which does change a little bit what you call on third down.
Right.
If you think you're going to go for it on fourth, then you're thinking on third down, I only have to get part of it. I don't need to get the whole thing, and that would include not throwing the ball on third down if you're going to run it twice.
Yeah, and another thing to think about is that Maryland School for the Deaf does not have a listed kicker on their roster, so really they've got to be going for the touchdown, and there's very little time to do it.
Wow.
To my knowledge, I think at the most they've got one timeout left, if not none.
And they may very well just take a knee here, or run the ball. I mean, take a knee. They may. It's fourth down right here, so they may be safe and run the ball, but they could run clock right now if they ran the ball and they didn't get a timeout called against them. We'll see what they decide to do.
Yeah, the worst thing you could do is commit a big turnover and give your opponent a chance.
No, so I misspoke about taking a knee. So it's fourth. They want clock to run right here.
Right, so they're going to do it. Ortiz gallops with the first down, and that basically ensures the Cubs won't get a chance before the end of the half.
Now, so the effect is to keep the clock running any way you can. And they're playing press man here on a fourth down.
Clock is running, 20 seconds left. Ortiz
now you might take
back.
a shot.
And there is that shot, but we have whistles before the pass of the end zone with 14 seconds left in the first half.
Now you have no risk taking a shot. Take a deep shot, overthrow. Maybe something comes up. Maybe you get an interference call. You catch a touchdown pass. And there's very little downside to throwing the ball down here. Now you have 14 seconds. Even though there's a penalty, you don't put time back on the clock.
Right.
So now you go back and you may take another shot, or you may just run the clock out. And because it's a short field, where are they at? They're at the 30, almost the 30-yard line, 27.
27. Yep.
So you're talking about, that's a very reasonable pass to take a shot here. With 12-6, they're just going to let the clock run, apparently. It went down to 6 seconds. I called the timeout again.
One more timeout.
Wow.
I believe
Yeah.
that's it for everybody. So we've got basically one play before the half. And before we get to that play,
Yeah.
you had mentioned with JR, some of the most ambitious, some of the most hard-nosed, good football players come in this 8-man football. We watched high school football yesterday, and then the level of intensity of these guys might be even higher in the game today.
I was very open and candid. I think there are players who I saw play in the first game on both sides that could be playing anywhere in Riverside. Just my personal opinion. I think the level of athleticism and physical toughness and mental awareness and strategy is very good. And because it's 8-man football, don't get the idea that the level of football is not up to par, because there are some very good athletes, very good coaches. You're going to see here, should see a great play here on the last play of the half.
All right, here's their last-ditch effort.
Now,
Ortiz pulls in the low snap. Time is running out. He's looking and throws across the field, where that is taken away by the defense.
and that was one mistake that they're not going to have to pay for.
That's right.
I'm sure they'd rather have that one back and have him take a sack.
Luca Visco, number 8, with the takeaway, and that will end the first half.
Well, I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come and visit with you. We missed you guys last night. I'm looking forward for us to work together again. If you're in Riverside and you want to see a good half of football, come on down to the campus. It's a great atmosphere. There's families running around, kids running around, a lot of fans on the sidelines, and these are two athletic, winning football programs on a national level.
Absolutely. And make sure for folks, when they can catch John Rice next. We have our next coverage beginning on the 4th of October. We have another City of Riverside doubleheader, and the matchups and the times will be at 7 on the 4th, with the games, of course, we'll announce over the course of the day. John Rice.
Awesome. Good to see you, Nick.
Of course. Good to
Looking
see
forward
you
to
as
it.
well. We'll step aside. We're at the half from CSDR. Maryland School of the Deaf leads the Cubs 6-0 on Riverside TV.
We are a community with shared values. We know our history and embrace our stories. We believe in respect. We believe in equity. We believe in justice and freedom. We are known for the way we celebrate, for how we create, and the ways we relax. We are known for our flavor and our vibe. We have built our reputation with a commitment to leadership in the areas of agriculture, engineering, creativity, economic development, and environmental responsibility. We are known for our incredible architecture, and the murals that grace our city walls. We value education. We value service. We value the self-made. We value each other. We love art. We love innovation. We love Riverside.
Live local. Help support your favorite businesses with the Shop Riverside Community Card. With over 200 Riverside businesses giving exclusive discounts and offers to community card holders, there's something for everyone. Participating organizations sell these cards for only $15 each, with $10 going straight back to the organization itself, making the Shop Riverside Community Card a fantastic way to support your favorite local group. For more information about the Shop Riverside Community Card and to find participating businesses, please visit shopriversidenow.com. And don't forget to live local. Shop Riverside.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month. Please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD. Road traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431.
And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right. We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
The City of Riverside Public Works Department provides high-quality trash and recycling services for our customers. Convenient curbside trash collection services promote a clean and healthy Riverside. To help us provide you with top-quality service, we ask you to follow a few key rules. There are 3 different containers for your trash. The blue bin is for recyclables and should only be used for clean recyclable materials such as aluminum cans, cardboard, glass bottles, plastics, and styrofoam. The old brown bin, or new bin with gray lid, is for standard household trash and items not suitable for the other bins, such as animal waste, cactus, palm fronds, soil products, and other waste. The green barrel is for your grass clippings, leaves, weeds, and other plant materials, excluding palm fronds, cactus, and yucca. And please remember not to use any of the containers for heavy construction waste such as concrete. For a complete guide to sorting your trash, please visit riversideca.gov/publicworks.
California leads the nation in railroad trespass-related fatalities. In 2021, there were 243 trespass casualties in California. Trespassing is one of the most challenging safety issues plaguing California's railroad corridors. In Riverside County alone, there were 19 trespass-related casualties last year. But the positive news is those numbers have dropped over the years because of the efforts of California Operation Lifesaver and partnering agencies like RCTC and Metrolink. We can all help reduce trespass-related incidents even further if we never trespass on railroad property for any reason. That means no biking or walking near tracks. Railroad property is private property. The only safe place to cross train tracks is at a designated crossing. September is Rail Safety Month, so please do your part. And whenever you see tracks, always think train. And stay off, stay away, stay safe.
We all need to eat, but do you know where our food actually comes from? If you're like most of us, our food starts its life in a land far away, where it's picked and packed before its prime and ripens during transit rather than on the vine. From the fields to packaging facilities to ships to trucks, even airplanes, to local distribution facilities, it's a tiring journey before it ever reaches our neighborhood store. Locally grown foods, however, are harvested at the peak of ripeness and can arrive in the store or restaurant within 24 hours, retaining much more of its flavor and nutrition. So why else buy local? Buying local supports farmers and businesses. It creates jobs and raises the community's income. This Grow Riverside initiative has a long-term impact to create a higher quality of life by increasing access to nutritious food and creating local jobs and businesses that help generate sales tax revenue to support vital services such as police, fire, and our local parks. So go out and shop local, eat local, support our community while enjoying fresher, more delicious, and nutritious food. Find out more about the exciting local food movement, where community members, leaders of the local food movement, local government, and local growers come together to discuss the exciting future of sustainable local agriculture.
I get to see little girls come in and say, like, I'm gonna build a bridge, I'm gonna play with electricity, I'm gonna build a catapult, and it's so much fun to see them light up and to see that they know that they can go do this.
Kay Yang is a local entrepreneur and engineer who has had a passion for tinkering since childhood. Memories of tinkering with her dad in the garage inspired her to start her own business focused on reimagining the way engineering is taught and making STEM engaging, particularly for young girls. Her business, Tinker the Robot, provides building kits that include everything necessary to create stimulating STEM projects. Kay recently completed a series of STEM workshops in partnership with the Riverside Public Library with the goal of sparking students' innovation and making science fun and engaging.
In the library it's great because they come in with a family, they discuss, they build, they learn, they connect, they create moments, and then they can take it home and continue those moments at home. So that's really what this is all about, helping foster self-confidence and get kids to really understand, like, they could build this, they can solve the problems of tomorrow.
There has been a very positive response from the community to these programs.
I really think that they've enjoyed it. I've had a few families that ask where I'm going to be next, and then they'll follow me to the next library just so that they can see what the next project is going to be and keep the learning going. And the staff here at the library seems to enjoy it as well. They all been very welcoming, and so yeah, I think the public generally likes it, and I think they want to see more.
For anyone with a hunger for more STEM activities, Kay offers a variety of free options as well as complete activity kits through her website.
If you guys are interested in doing any of this at home, a lot of our materials are materials you could buy at Target or Hobby Lobby or buy on Amazon. And so check out our website. You'll have to give us your email, but then we have free PDFs that you can download and do programs like this at home. We want to make sure that science and engineering is accessible and fun.
To find out more about Kay and Tinker the Robot, visit her website at tinkertherobot.com. And to see what other fun activities there are at the Riverside Public Library, visit us at riversideca.gov/library. The City of Riverside Public Works Department provides high-quality trash and recycling services for our customers. Convenient curbside trash collection services promote a clean and healthy Riverside. To help us provide you with top-quality service, we ask you to follow a few key rules. When placing your trash containers for pickup, please observe the following. Place each container with at least 3 feet separation from each other and at least 6 feet from obstructions such as parked cars, fire hydrants, mailboxes, and trees. Your bin should be placed at the curb no later than 5:30 a.m. on your collection day with the arrow on the lid pointed toward the street to ensure your bins get emptied. If you are experiencing issues with your trash collection, or perhaps need a replacement for a damaged trash bin, please contact our customer service call center by using the 311 app or website, or by dialing 951-826-5311 to reach one of our customer service representatives. And for more information about trash services, recycling, or bulky items, visit the Public Works website at riversideca.gov/publicworks.
They can't. He ran over there like that, like this. You can't. He went all the way over.
He's from this big small dude named. Okay. He was the biggest small I've ever seen. You're lying. You kidding?
Welcome back on Riverside TV. This is the CIF in Riverside, the Maryland School of the Deaf Orioles 6 and the CSDR Cubs 0. Jeff, in that second quarter, had John Rice on, and there was a whole bunch of defense in that second quarter, and it was a tight football game like we expected.
Well, this isn't 8-man football that I like to see. I like to see scoring.
Yeah.
Normally they're in the 80s, for gosh sake. They've been averaging 68 per ball game this year. Only 0 point. They got a big donut.
Oh, what? And, you know, it was the Orioles playing keep away. There was only 2 drives for each team, and it should be noted Maryland School of the Deaf does receive the opening kickoff of the second half. So the Orioles could conceivably jump in front by 2 scores against the team of the Cubs, undefeated, reigning champs. We'll see how they fare here, but it really is an impressive ball game for the Orioles. They come in across the country, and they played the better game through 2 quarters.
Yeah, and really, you're playing for bragging rights. This is California. You got to win for California, and Maryland thinking the exact same thing. So a lot of fun, a 2-game losing streak versus this Maryland team. Hopefully CSDR can turn it around here in the second half.
Yeah, they might have just picked the toughest opponent in that area, because Maryland School of the Deaf played a team in Virginia, beat them, and then went on the road to Southington, Ohio, and beat them, Chalker, 42-22. This is a good football team that is 3-0 this season.
All I want to know is, what's the budget on this high school team if they're traveling all over the world, for gosh sakes?
Right.
But, man, what a fun day to be out here watching football. It's in the 70s. There's kids running around, a lot of little guys. I saw a couple pooches walking around, a couple little dogs. Yeah, just a great time, great atmosphere. So if you are in Riverside, come on out. There's Coach Adams right there.
Right off of Maid in Arlington, right near downtown. A beautiful site right in front of the rolling hills in Riverside. For this one between Maryland and California, You know, this is a battle of a couple blue bloods, and you got to think that, you know, a lot of kids from the area are thinking, I want to go here to play some high-level football.
You know, the great thing is the history behind CSDR. They had a head coach, a guy named Pete Lanzi. Pete Lanzi is in the hall, or the Football Hall of Fame. He was the guy that started the no huddle offense. They did
That's
that.
right.
They started it here at California School for the Deaf, Riverside, and he is instrumental in a lot of the rules that are in the National Football League today, derived right here on this field with the late great Pete Lanzi.
People are trying to say that no huddle with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They're saying Andy Reid was the guy doing all that. No, not at all.
It was Pete Lanzi.
It's Pete Lanzi. What is that?
CSDR. See, you watch all that pro football stuff, don't you?
Oh,
you're probably playing those video games. What is it, Madden 24? Do you play that game?
Yeah, they got 25 out now with all that great music and all that great, what's it called, features and stuff like that.
You're in your 20s. I'm in my 50s. I don't care anything about unless it's Pong or Pac-Man. I don't care.
How about this? Ceremka kicks up a bit of a squib, and that is picked up by the Orioles. Pong, really?
Do you know what Pong is?
Yeah.
It's you have the two little things, and the ball just goes back and forth. And then, you had a little circle dial to move your cursor or whatever the heck they called it.
Yeah, you don't want to spin the dial too fast. No,
you don't know what I'm talking about. You're 29 years old, for gosh sakes. Are you a fan of the NFL kickoff this year?
You know, I kind of like it. Yeah, it's entertaining, and they say it's for player health, and I believe what they say.
Well, I think it's for player stupidity. I don't like it at all. I would rather watch grass grow or paint dry. I want to see football the way it's supposed to be played. And there's too many things going on the field. You watch it; it's they got lights and bells and whistles. I just want to see the regular kickoff, and then the onside kick. You have to tell them.
Yeah,
that might be the silliest rule in the world.
Right.
That's like me going over and say, "Hey, Nick, I'm going to go over and knock your block off." But normally I would just do it on my own.
Just do it on your own. I gotcha.
Oh, great to be back here for the second half. Here's Maryland.
Yes, Ortiz run out of bounds near the 40-yard line. You'd say you'd like to watch paint dry. I've seen you paint my house. I'm good. I don't need that.
No, I'm a painting machine.
How are you?
Yeah.
That beats the kickoff, doesn't it? That beats watching any non-CSDR game, I tell you.
I love CSDR. I love coming to these games. My dad used to bring me as a kid. And now,
really?
Yeah. He used to come all the time.
All right.
They used to bang the drum. It was a wonderful – that's how they used to call – they would have the cheerleaders would bang the drum. They would bang the drum from the sideline. The coaches would call into plays. But now with the Pete Lanzi, with the no-huddle stuff, this is how it is. Like I said, there's a lot of history here.
So they've taken out the drum, and now they just add the hand signals for the coaches.
They do.
All right. And Maryland School of the Deaf just got their signal, and off of the huddle faced a third down. Possessions at a premium in this defensive game today. Ortiz is hit, spins away from one defender, but will go down. Slowed first by Xavier Gamboa. The Cubs defense, a third down stop for just the first time in today's game. As they'll push him back into a 4th and long. Xavier Gamboa, number 25, was the first there to hit him. There he is. Great job by the defense. Those are words that I didn't think I'd utter today, and that's all I've been as that punt is out of bounds at the 24-yard line.
And Coach Adams wants a flag as there's a little extracurricular activity out of bounds, but the two slap each other on the helmet and get back to their respective teams.
You know what's amazing about, Keith Adams, he inherited a team that went 3-6 the year before he got there, and then makes the playoffs in his first year. Then COVID happened, so that totally eradicated the 2020 season, and Keith Adams I don't know what he was doing during that non-year, but he turned this team into a champion.
He was growing his children in test tubes, and now they're
that
giants.
Explains it.
Yeah, Coach Adams, during the COVID years, he put his kids in a Bacta tank and grew. I tell you what, those two young men are that he has coached. His son is over at Olivet University. In fact, I have a story about the helmet situation that they are using at Olivet University because of his son.
Interesting. Gio Visco, no one can touch his helmet or any part of his body. He's stripped up at the 29-yard line. Biggest run of the day from Gio Visco, a pickup of 21.
Yeah, at Olivet University, they have a face mask for the quarterback that goes over, and they can call the play in through a screen on the helmet.
Wow.
So the sideline, and the helmets themselves, I believe that the coach said they were at least, I think they were $25,000 each to start. But yeah, Olivet University now uses those helmets.
Visco hit laid out of bounds. That's a flag on a 3-yard run. You know, considering the fact that CSDR, Maryland School of the Deaf, is traveling to Ohio, to Pennsylvania. Here's Maryland coming to town. I guess apparently they have $25,000.
I guess they've got to have something. I've traveled with college football, and carrying all that stuff. I mean, it's an incredible feat just to get all that stuff traveling.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm not a big fan of the the Pac-2 anymore.
Hey, it's now the Pac-10. 4 new teams got introduced yesterday.
They did? Who are the 4 new teams?
Memphis, South Florida, and UTSA, and then one other school I forget.
Oh.
But, how about that? Pac-10, we got San Diego State and Wazoo and I think Oregon State, the 2 that are remaining there. But, they'll hit the road to Tampa for a conference game. How about that?
That sounds pretty fun. It's a little far, though, still.
Right. Gio Visco on the check down. He gets by the first defender and jumps out of bounds at the 6, shoved out by Jaden Orsi-Peterson. A good athlete, Gio Visco, going airborne for the pickup of 4.
Yeah, talking about Gio Visco, the Press Enterprise Player of the Week 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
He is, he's putting up video game numbers this season.
Can I interest you in 15.5 yards a carry?
15.5 yards. Give him the ball every darn time.
Right. Why aren't they doing that more? 3 touchdown runs going into today. But no touchdowns. CSDR in their first 2 games of the season scored 19 touchdowns. They have 0 through 25 minutes. And this play will be blown dead at the 6.
It's great to hear John Rice. I'm sure he's had Ron Wade on many of his calls when he was coaching on the sidelines.
By calls, or you mean yelling sessions?
I mean, he was throwing flags at
I wonder if John Rice ever got animated at, officials.
What are you talking about? He's animated just talking to the guy.
Just talking to him.
He's got more energy than my son, who's in the 3rd grade.
Puts his feet out wide and says, "Listen here, Ron." The hands on his hips.
No, nobody puts Ron in a corner.
That's right. Gio Visco trying to score their first touchdown of the day. He's over the pylon. Touchdown CSDR.
About time.
That is now 7 touchdowns scored from Gio Visco in 11 quarters of the season. And, of course, fittingly, he's the guy to help give the Cubs a 6-6 tie here in the middle of the 3rd. And CSDR is yet to go for the regular PAT. And they have yet to kick a field goal. Chance to take the lead. This is a big swing of events. Orioles had the ball up 6 to begin the 3rd quarter. Defense made the stand, and Visco led the drive. Throws a check down that has nowhere to go. Zeke Ortiz read that play beautifully. 6-6 with 8:40 to go in the 3rd. For folks just tuning in, that score is right. 2 teams averaging a total of 112 points per game. We have 12 this afternoon.
Here's the replay. Yeah, those helmets that Gallaudet University uses are from AT&T.
Oh.
In fact,
so it probably doesn't have good reception.
Hey, whoa! You just say, you guess what I got? No, but Coach Adams' son was in the commercial at the Super Bowl. So if you went back and watched that last year, remember the year before that, they also flipped the coin at the SoFi Stadium when the Super Bowl was local.
That's right. That was a couple years ago, the SoFi. Bengals and Rams. That was when they won their first title following the 2021 season, or 2022 season, when they crushed Faith Baptist. How about that? They won their CIF title 80-26 a couple years ago. What an incredible team this is.
Putting up 80
in a championship game.
That's an NBA score right there.
Right. That is some stuff. Gio Visco, who just scored the touchdown, attempted the onside, but the Orioles were in a great position. Riker Peterson with the recovery. All right, this Maryland School of the Deaf team, you know, you might be able to pull off that sneaky stuff against another team, but not this team.
No, of course not.
So, you know, from the looks of it, it seems like you better score on, you know, every drive you can get, because drives have been at a premium today, Jeff Gorm. Not a lot of big plays. It's just been methodical, short running throughout the ball game, and a lot of good defense. As they'll go run with Mark Gwynn III, who gains a couple. I believe no relation to San Diego State and Padre great Tony Gwynn.
Or the Munsters great Fred Gwynn. You don't know who that is, do you?
No clue.
Okay.
Monsters, Inc.?
No, the Munsters. It was a TV show a long time ago, and Fred Gwynn was the star character as Herman Munster.
I bet he was awesome.
He was Frankenstein.
Oh, I'll just get back to the game. Ortiz, great job from the Cubs again. Gamboa, Zaremka, Matthew Silve. That defense, since they gave up the touchdown to begin the second, they have really picked things up here.
A great blitz there showing here on the replay.
Now, was Matthew Silve offsides? Close. Good job there to pull him down.
So 3rd and 11 for the Orioles.
That's right. Maryland School of the Deaf scoring 44 a game. Has begun the year 3-0. All their last 2 games blowouts. Gwynn the third sweeping back to the line. 4th down coming up. They had to punt on their last 4th down of 13. Here it's 4th and 11. Caden Adams, the senior linebacker, was there on the tackle. He joins Matthew Silve, Lucas Go, Xavier Gamboa, Darius Zaremka on that defense. A terrific defense it is for CSDR. Gio Visco there as well. 4th down, they punted on their last timeout. But this time Ortiz is looking deep. You'll throw a jump ball to Jaden Orsi-Peterson, and it is incomplete.
Yeah, there's a flag and a play. I think that's going to be pass interference.
Orsi-Peterson stands at 6'3", 190 pounds. Isaiah Baxter Davis, 6'1", 175, sporting number 3. So 2 inches difference between corner and receiver.
Yeah, there's a pass interference penalty.
Let's check out this play. I think they're going to call that on Luca Visco, number 8. A little bit anxious on that play. That'll convert the 4th down, a backbreaker, if you will.
It'll be the 1st and 10 on the, looks like the 21-yard line.
Design run yet again for Zeke Ortiz, who has shown his athleticism today, and he scrambles ahead for a couple. Neil DeMarco, head coach of Maryland School for the Deaf, began his career as one of the players for the Orioles from 2002 to 2005. Returned to the program as an assistant from 2015 to 2020 and took the job in 2021 in his 30-7 as head coach of this program. It was already a winner. He turned it into a champion. There's a look at Neil DeMarco and that Maryland School of the Deaf coaching staff. Ryan Bonheyo built a winner here. In fact, they didn't have a losing season in over a decade before Neil DeMarco got there, so they were already a championship caliber club. Flag is down on the Ortiz run. He gets by Adams and is stuffed. This may be a hold. The penalty flag was thrown to the backfield from Ron Wade. Looks like a hold. Appears to be the case. Dorsey Peterson.
And coach, it looked like he's going to see if he declines it.
Nope, they've changed their mind, and they'll go ahead and accept the penalty. For those of you just joining us, plenty of defense today, and then after today, our next broadcast on Riverside TV, I believe, is RCC Palomar next Saturday.
Next Saturday, I think it's at 1 p.m. start.
Woo! Good luck.
I love those midday games. We get home early. Saturday evenings, I get to sit around and watch college football. But yeah, RCC taking their first loss of the year to
RCC lost a football game
to Golden West, the defending national champions. But Golden West has been the heel in RCC's last couple years ago. They beat RCC on the road, and Retzlaff, who was their quarterback in the first national championship, transferred to RCC from Golden West.
That's right. That was only fair for a little bit of revenge, as Ortiz is buried by Darius Zaremka in the backfield.
And a big loss here.
The old Rustlers out of Costa Mesa.
So looks like his 3rd and 18.
You know what's amazing is that Riverside TV picks up RCC's broadcast. They become state champions, national champions. Pick up more CSDR games. They are CIF champions. We might need to pick up the...
And we also have Ramona, who's the state champs.
We might need to pick up the Chargers broadcast. I'm getting sick and tired of them bowing out in the playoffs.
They've got Harbaugh.
Oh, yeah. The old yapping Harbaughs. An old Orsi Peterson receiver pass, and it was a well-designed play near the first down to Tahoe Herzig Wilcox, number 3.
Yeah, great play. A little trickery.
Yeah. Gain of 15 on the receiver pass. This will make John Rice blush.
Wide open.
Yeah, they got a little too anxious, did the Cubs. Number 3, Isaiah Baxter Davis for the Cubs, saving the touchdown. Maryland School of the Deaf, a 4th down conversion by way of pass interference, a 3rd down conversion by way of receiver pass. Late in the 3rd quarter, we're tied, but might not be for long, as Wilcox is buried by Zaremka in the backfield.
So 2nd down here. Looks like ball's on the... What is that, the 12?
Yeah, 11 or 12.
Now that's the 7. That's on the...
Or I'm sorry, the 7.
No, you're right. That is on the 12-yard line. 2nd and...
Vision, my vision's...
we both have to wear glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Sakes. We're sitting on a hill up here, so not great vantage point.
Oh, yeah. How about this? A receiver end around now. Gwynn sheds a tackle and gains a couple in front of Gio Visco to about the 10-yard line. Orioles are struggling to move the ball, Jeff, in the 2nd quarter, so they start opening up the playbook.
Yeah, a lot of sweeps and Halfback passes.
I bet you half of the new plays in today's high school football comes from just watching Riverside TV Cubs games.
You can do all kinds of fun stuff. I don't know if you could do that in 11-man, but it's sure fun to watch.
You can't knock it till you try it. I'm sure you pulled a few of those rabbits out of your hat back in the day.
Oh, I used to do all kinds of goofy stuff when I was coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Got to make it fun.
3rd down and goal. Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Long drive. Ortiz throws. End zone, and Orsi Peterson has it knocked away again. Is there a penalty flag? They say no. Luca Visco, the pass deflection.
Yeah, Visco just played great defense. Got his hand in the passing lane. Watch here on the replay.
Good job by our end zone angle.
Yeah, that's just great defense.
Oof. You know, John Rice was saying, I mean, pretty much any of these athletes, their tenacity, their athleticism, and their size and speed, you know, they can translate to any football, not just 8-man, but any 11-man football. Gio Visco at 6'2", 160 pounds, all over the pass. Now, 4th down, the Cubs will line up in a 3-man front, but we do have a flag down before the play. That was a tricky a tricky play. Didn't count, though.
Looks like a player's down over there. I don't know who that is.
Got a word on that in just a moment. For folks wondering why the next broadcast is not high school football on Friday instead of Saturday, hard to believe everyone's out of town.
Yeah, it's pretty much in Riverside, it's a bye week for most of the schools. The only teams, in fact, playing, I think, are Notre Dame, and that's it.
Wow.
Everybody else has a bye. So what we're going to do is we're still going to have the Friday night pep rally. We're going to invite some coaches in, and we're going to have a roundtable discussion on the first half of the season. As next week, we start league play.
Yeah, Gio Visco's the injured Cub. Now, Pep Zone, what is that?
The pep rally?
Or the pep rally.
Yeah, how do you not know what the pep rally is? So a pep rally is every Friday night from 11 to 12 p.m.
Is there going to be jokes and gags there?
Have you not watched the show, my friend? I mean, come on, you're part of Riverside TV. It's the greatest show in the history of wrap-up shows. We go for an hour. Last night we had 14 highlights from different games, and we have every score in the Inland Empire, and just a lot of fun. Pep Fernandez, myself, and a cavalcade of stars as we film from the studio, and we have a really good time. We try to make fun, have fun Friday nights after everybody has worked hard on the field. We just make it a little more fun afterwards and support and celebrate all the local teams.
Incredible stuff. Yeah. Just come for Pep Fernandez's Santiago every
his favorite
Friday.
thing he says every Friday night. I think it's goofy, but that's okay. That's him.
That's that guy. 4th down. Ortiz looking for an end zone shot. That one doesn't come close. Wide of Herzig Wilcox. 1:42 to go in the third. Credit the CSDR defense. They rarely get recognized because of how talented the other side of the ball is. A big stop on 4th down.
Yeah, both these teams are playing equally right now. We could have an overtime game, for gosh sakes.
And it looked like we were on our way to that yesterday. But today may be the day. How about the last minute of that crazy Granite Hills Notre Vista football game, 28-27. And here we've got a similar type battle, 6-6, with 1:42 to go in the third.
I'll tell you what, we had a great one in the Solar Series last night between Ramona High School
How did that
and
game
Poly.
finish?
Ramona ended up upending Poly. Poly was leading with under a minute to go, and Ramona had a deep strike, 54-yard touchdown from Shiner to his receiver, and it was over as the Rams pulled away and took the 4-point win.
Zavala or something? Was that him, or is it somebody else?
I forget who the receiver was, but it was a great ending, and Ramona goes to 5-0 going into River Valley League play. We got 5-0 Notre Vista and 5-0 Ramona.
And that'll be interesting.
That'll
I think
be
they
fun.
play in a few weeks in Ramona, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we'll have the
In fact,
game
I
on,
know that, right?
we'll have the game on Riverside TV, I believe.
Yeah, of course I have the schedule here. Yes, Friday the 11th on Riverside TV, Notre Vista.
The Battle of the
at
Kens.
Ramona. The only thing separating the Braves from going to 6-0, they'll play Patriot in 2 weeks. So here's a nice run and a first down. I believe Caden Adams on the call. No Giovisco for the first. The tackle from Josue Sanchez. So we could be looking at 6-0 Rams, 6-0 Braves on Riverside TV. Is that a good matchup?
It's a great matchup. I can't wait for those. For that game. Like I said, the Battle of the Kens. We're going to have a special trophy. We're going to talk about this next week. I don't want to give away too much.
Oh.
But it should be a good one.
Now, Ramona alum, Ramona graduate, Ramona coach, Jeff Gorham, picked Notre Vista to win the River Valley League last year. I guess he was right. This year, are you going on that same limb? Or is
Yes.
that
Oh, no, I've already gone out. They're going to go to Notre Vista. I said before the season started was going to go 10-0. They're 5-0, and I think they're going to win the next 5. And I think they'll win them handily. I know Coach Mush and my buddies over at Ramona aren't happy with me saying that, but Ken Batdorf, I think, has one of his finest teams. They beat Great Oak at Great Oak last week.
Very impressive win.
And then they beat Granite Hills, who was favored by, I think, 12 points going into that game.
They were favored by 12?
By 12.
Wow. I guess maybe Alex Rodriguez was a bit humble. That's a touchdown. Darius Zaremka. What a throw from Caden Adams to find his tall 6'3 receiver in the end zone.
And a penalty afterwards. It's not too sure for what, but what a great catch.
Right. How about that? 46 yards on the pass.
Coach Adams is not happy. He must have spiked the ball or did something. Let's see what he does after the score here. That was just a foot race. Let's see if they...
I was wondering why they haven't thrown more of those jump balls to these long, tall receivers. Darius Zaremka, 6'5", not 6'3", 170 pounds. I mean, you've got about a half foot of size advantage up there with Darius Zaremka. Touchdown's good. Late in the third, 12-6. Cubs lost last year in Maryland 14-12 against the Orioles. But Keith Adams, overall, no way. Are they going to take the touchdown? No, they will. They will do the unsportsman, like you said. CSDR with Keith Adams since the COVID year, they are 36-4.
Wow.
One of those 4 was the Maryland school last year. Gio Visco fires. Was he beyond the line of scrimmage? That pass, a beauty in the corner of the end zone. Hard to get an angle whether the official said no. Looks like they say incomplete.
We got to sort this out. We couldn't really see that.
Right.
Dove right into the fans in the end zone there.
Yeah, plenty of fans here today. It's standing room only.
So it's 12-6 with 26 seconds to go here. Here's the
a good
replay.
angle.
Oh, great juke move.
Dun-dun-dun.
Did it again. Let's see.
Oh, man, get a map, boy.
Looks like he's out of bounds. But
Yeah.
what a great attempt.
Good thing they have the medical people here for ankles to get wrapped up.
There was
there.
a lot of broken ankles on that play.
How about that? Check it out again.
There's the first fake.
Oh, man. Old Alden Iverson crossover right there. You know, I think he was short of the end zone anyways.
Yeah, I think so as well.
That is some play. So our score is 12-6 CSDR. Cubs defense has been terrific in the second half. The Orioles have had 3 drives since the beginning of the second quarter and have scored on none of them. A punt and 2 fourth-down stops forced by the Cub defense. Here's number 15, Darius Zaremka, another onside kick, and it rolls into the hands of one of the Orioles. Picked up by Riker Peterson, number 5. 23 seconds to go in the third. Maryland schooled to death, a short field, but the Cubs have had their number. No look at the sideline. The players know their opening play, and they'll sort that one out. First and 10 after the touchdown of 45, not 46. Adams to Darius Zaremka to give the Cubs a 12-6 lead. Ortiz is looking deep. Pass rush is coming. He is hit. Turns the corner. Ortiz down the sideline. Tightrope still listed in bounds and is shoved out inside the 25 by Hawkins. We've got 2 athletic quarterbacks on display tonight, and that is certainly a fitting way to close the third quarter. Ortiz with a big run.
I think they're wondering about the clock.
Right, should be running if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they reset the ball. It should
That's
be.
your guy, Ron Wade, down there. Ask him what's going on.
Come on, Ron.
Yeah. Okay, this should be the final play of the third. Ortiz, design sweep, and he is tripped up by Zaremka and Gamboa. Wonder what the Cubs are signaling out there following the run.
It should be the end of the quarter here, which it is.
Yep, end of the third. They'll switch sides and start the fourth, 12-6 CSDR. You mentioned Notre Vista, halfway to 10-0. You know, Granite Hills was a 2-point, less than a yard on the 2-pointer away from taking out the Braves.
And there was some shenanigans going on after the game. So if you want,
was crazy.
If you want to go back and check it out, go to Riverside TV and find that Norte Vista Granite Hills game.
If you want to see big guys get busy with the officials.
There's some anger in that game.
Oh yeah. Now that certainly beats one of the La Sierra games last year. Ended in the third quarter because of a brawl. There was a fight that literally ended the game.
Against Arlington High School.
Against Arlington. Yeah, you guys were there at the pep rally. Nice and early. Like, what's going on?
Were you and I on that call last year? I think we were.
No, that was you and Gazal. But I saw you at the pep rally later on with my Chick-fil-A because I believed the Rams would win the league, and they almost did. Last year,
they got fourth place, and they win a state championship.
How does that work? Huh?
Well, hey, it's because I'm a Ramona Ram, and I said, hey, let's get Ramona in there as an at-large. They did some business.
Boy, they sure did. You know,
my friend the commissioner, Mike West, over at the CIF Southern Section. He's a Riverside guy. He used to be the former principal of King High School.
Wow. Well, you know, it was only fitting they had to beat a Riverside school to do it. And that was such a fun moment for the program and for the city of Riverside.
And they got to beat Riverside Poly in the championships. Their oldest rival, 2 oldest schools in Riverside, Ramona and Poly.
And who knows, it could happen all again with Jerron Gilbert there and Ken Mushinski. You know, Riverside's really... they've got a lot of really good coaches out there.
Well, remember the last 2 years, we've had 6 teams make the playoffs.
Right.
And 6 teams have won in both of they've won first round games in both years.
10 Riverside schools, Riverside area schools, they're all bringing their coaches back. Mashinsky, Battendorf, Opalani Vaipulu.
You know,
John
did
Gilbert.
you call him Battendorf last night?
I don't.
It's Batdorf.
Batdorf.
Bat, like Batman, he's Batdorf.
I feel like you said Battendorf.
No, it's Batdorf. He told me to tell you that, by the way. He did. He
Oh,
said,
yeah?
He said,
You know
can
what's
you tell
funny?
him can you tell him to stop calling me Battendorf?
You know what's funny is he said he'd let me know, and I've been messing it up, and I'm totally fine actually. Ortiz on a 4th down gets by the defense, turns the corner, a hard-nosed run of 4 and a first down on 4th and short, shoved out by Isaiah Baxter Davis.
And they're going to move the sticks.
You know, the benefit of a game like this, we never really think about the chain gang out there and the guys that have to run all up and down the field. Not a lot of running for those guys today. Not a lot of calories.
They've kind of stayed in the middle of the field for the most part, but 1st and 10, ball looks like it's on about the 14-yard line.
Methodical drive. An end around for Maryland School of the Deaf. Gwynn the third, lunging to the goal line, and they say short of the end zone, but a 1st and goal for the Orioles. Mark him down inside the 10.
Yeah, great run here. Yeah, could it be shades of last year? I mean, their score right now is 12-6. They score this, get the 2-point conversion, and we have ourselves the same score as last year, 14-12, Maryland.
And they've done all this traveling 2,800 miles from Frederick, Maryland, here to Southern California. Dive to the goal line. The officials, no signal yet, and there is no touchdown.
And a flag came in as well, so we'll see what the play is, or what the call is.
Good shot by our camera crew here. Oh, you know, he might have actually crossed the plane. Tahoe Herzig Wilcox, who scored the first points of the day on a 3-yard run.
Oh, they do call it a touchdown.
Second.
They do give it to him.
Okay. A 6-foot, 165-pound fullback, Tahoe Herzig Wilcox. That is the first time I've heard of a guy first name Tahoe.
Really?
Yep. That's his name.
That's a cool name.
Right.
I'm going to name my next son Tahoe.
Tahoe. Your next one. Gee whiz.
Nah, I don't think those days are long gone.
Guys are wanting you to coach a basketball team, not build a basketball team.
No, there's none of that. None of that.
None of that. Yes, a guy named Tahoe Herzig Wilcox.
Here is the 2-point conversion.
Okay, Gwynn hands it to the aforementioned Orsi Peterson, and he is stuffed. Matthew Sylvay with a big hit, and you can see him getting real animated. That'll cost him 15.
Yeah, he threw a football right at the player. He took his helmet off. That might be an ejection, to be honest with you.
Wow. I wonder what he's mad about. It looked like a free tackle to me.
He just threw his helmet on the sideline there. Hopefully.
That's what you call getting your money's worth. Here's the play again. Oh, that explains it.
He thought it was a horse collar.
Right. His helmet's all pulled to the side. You know, in the Chiefs-Bengals game last week, there was a hip drop tackle, and there was no penalty flag thrown on the play, and they penalized the guy who yelled at the officials saying, hey, I want my 15-yard penalty. Feels like a similar case here. Orsi Peterson thought that he should have gotten that penalty, but sometimes you don't get every call. You got to just keep your cool.
Yeah, that definitely was a horse collar, but
right,
not called.
Right, but you gotta keep your cool.
Instead, it goes 15 yards against you.
And let's see, was there an ejection, or is he still in the ball game?
He is not in the ball game as of yet.
Interesting. Sometimes players and coaches, it is hard to keep your cool when, you feel something's not going your way. But over the course of a game, it all kind of evens out.
Let's see here. I think that does result in an ejection when you take your helmet off. I think that's an automatic ejection.
We're seeing a lot of that here in Riverside this weekend. I tell you, some animated players and coaches wanting to win these games.
There's Coach Adams.
As mentioned, 36-4 in his last 40 games, including a couple of title wins. They lost the title game in 2021 against Faith Baptist, and Keith Adams was saying we have unfinished business. And usually when stuff like that happens, you get a little too ahead of your skis. Not this guy. He knew he had a good team coming back, and they won it all in 2022, and they won another 10 games in 2023 and a title. There's that 2-point conversion again. Oh, that's interesting. They had the quarterback acting like he interesting stuff. Woo!
That's what the anger's all about there from number 2.
Coming up, CSDR will play 5 consecutive home games after next weekend's visit to Fremont to battle California School of the Deaf Fremont. They'll play host to Hesperia, host to the Rangers of Texas out of Austin. They'll come to town here. Calvary Chapel out of Downey, United Christian Academy, and Entrepreneur out of Highland. That is their upcoming schedule for CSDR. Maryland School of the Deaf, they played a school in Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania. They played these guys. Visit Delaware next week. Mercersburg, Perkiomen, Garrard, and Model Secondary School as their upcoming schedule.
Now, it looks like after a long break, we might get back to football.
Another towering kickoff after the penalty pushed him back a bit. The return from Matthew Sylvain. He has 1 return touchdown this season, and nearly another. Stumbles down to the 36. He may have hit his knee there. In fact, he's a bit hurt on the play.
Hopefully he's okay. He's trying to get off that field quickly.
Oh, man. So the Cubs are starting to find a little bit of mojo on offense. Last drive concluded with a Gio Visco touchdown. Has a couple today. In fact, we've only had 2 touchdown scores. Visco and the beauty from Caden Adams to Darius Zaremka, that 45-yard touchdown pass in the third quarter. 9:36 remaining in the game. Back-to-back touchdown drives from the Cubs. Visco completes the pass to the outside. And this is a 1st and 10 to Darius Zaremka, gain of 12 on the play. Zeke Ortiz with the tackle. Darius Zaremka, I'd say he's a guy, 6'5", 170. We were able to have Tom Kraft bring in a Bo Bruins. How about bringing this guy?
Hey, I'll tell you what. They turned Bo Bruins into a tight end.
Oh, they did?
He is now a tight end as there appears to be a timeout here on the field. I don't think the clock ran a whole lot on that last play.
Same story for, do you remember a couple years ago, RCC quarterback Stone Smart?
I do.
He is now the Chargers' backup tight end.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't play much, but hey, he made the 53.
That's incredible.
Right. So we have J.C. Jackson. There's an NFL cornerback. He came from RCC. A couple of NFL guys coming from the Tigers.
Coach Kraft's son this year is on the staff. He's calling the offense for the Tigers.
Kraft's son?
Yep.
Wow.
Came over from Japan, where he was a player coach.
Interesting.
In professional football overseas.
Wow. So you still got James Cook there.
James Cook, the defensive coordinator.
Right. And Tom Kraft, about, 14 years in, something like that.
And has like 3 losses.
Half of his defeats to Golden West.
Yeah, their nemesis.
Right.
Yeah, but we're going to be on the call next Saturday as they're going to play Palomar College, the old home of Tom Kraft, where he won a couple state championships there.
Right.
I don't know if you know this, but Palomar has never had a home game until this season as they finally opened a brand new stadium on campus.
What? Got to check that out. I didn't know that, but I did know their team name is the Comets.
That's right. Named after? Do you know what it's named after? The
Is
Palomar Mountain Observatory.
I knew it was something.
Something to do with the observatory, something to do with space.
That's right.
And Mount Palomar has one of the greatest telescopes in the country.
And that may explain, as this quarterback run gains about 5, that may explain why my alma mater, Vista Marietta, their team name is the Broncos. Rumor has it, nothing but horses around here back 50 years ago. And the IE. Things were a whole lot different back then. It was just Paulie, Ramona, and then a whole bunch of horses around.
That's
the
it.
IE.
Horses, and remember, citrus.
Oh, yes.
Citrus groves were huge out here in
right.
the city of Riverside. Still are in certain parts.
Just a beautiful scene here of the backdrop. Jump ball to double coverage. That was a gutsy throw. Orsi Peterson, number 2, knocked it away from number 3, Isaiah Baxter Davis.
Those bring up a 4th and long here. 4th and 13?
You know, you may as well go for it, right? 8-man football, let's do it.
Of course.
Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham here. Beautiful day. City of Riverside, right off the freeway in Riverside, Maud, and Arlington.
It looks like number 2 is back in the game, so he was not ejected. Like to see that.
That's right.
Don't like to see guys get kicked out of the game.
Absolutely. Gio Visco, can he make some magic happen? He can. What a run to the 16-yard line. Orsi Peterson hammers him out. A 4th and 13. How about a gain of 18?
Yeah, Peterson with the big hit there.
Gio Visco, this was some run for the first down. There's one missed tackle. There's 2 that he broke out of. There's, I guess, a hand hit on 3. Gio Visco, you know, we've seen him breaking all the ankles tonight. Or today, I guess. He's also a capable passer, too. And finds his man out of the backfield. He's down to about the 15-yard line. A gain of 7 on the play to Baxter Davis.
And the clock runs down. Just almost at 7 minutes left here in the ball game.
Right. Gio Visco, you know, Caden Adams is a terrific quarterback, career 36 touchdown passes. But Gio Visco, who should be the starting QB next year for the team, he is a terrific player. You know, they're not really facing a big drop-off from Adams to Visco and what he brings to this offense. He can run it, too, and is shoved out of bounds inside the 10. This is some football player. Gio Visco came into the day with 50 career touchdowns total, scored one earlier in the ball game, and has been really the captain on this drive.
50?
50.
Holy smokes, that's a lot of touchdowns.
Can Gio Visco do it all himself? That's been the story so far. First and goal from the 9. Gets a block on the outside out of Adams, and Gio Visco leaps to the goal line. And Gio Visco is in for 6. Touchdown, CSDR.
Going to come down to a couple possessions here. If CSDR can play some defense and stop, they could possibly get the win here and break that 2-game losing streak.
What a spectacular run from Gio Visco. That whole drive was led by number 2. That was very close to being short of the end zone. Well, they'll give him the touchdown. Gio Visco, as mentioned, came into the day averaging 15.5 yards a run, so it was only a matter of time before he'd be able to kind of take over the football game like this.
There's my friend, Coach Adams. Keith Adams, great guy. See him every year at the Festival of Lights, which we cover here on Riverside TV. He always
That's right.
makes it a point to come over and stop and brings his family, says hello. I know he was on vacation this summer, too. He was diving, I think, with like sea turtles in Hawaii with his family. He's a world traveler himself.
Wow. All right.
I was trying, he one-upped me. The summer before last, I went to Hawaii and did some cage diving with sharks.
Cage diving? I've
Yeah,
never heard of
I
that.
went in a cage. Big shark swimming around you, you know, you've never...
Oh, man, I've seen that.
Yeah, I did that in real life. I took my 3 boys, and 2 of them went in. He was 6 at the time, said, Dad, those are too big of sharks. I don't want to go in the water, so he just threw up on the boat because he was seasick. My other 2 boys and my wife, we swam with some 12-foot Galapagos sharks, and we saw a tiger shark, and all the other sharks disappeared when that big tiger appeared in front of us.
Tell your kids, don't worry. If those sharks come after you, I'll take them down myself. I think that explains the cut on your arm there.
Yeah.
That was a Galapagos that you were wrestling. You'll do anything for those kids.
Yes, I will.
Good thing no one listens to the pep rally where you said that you wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty harsh on my kids on the air. But no, I love the boys. The Gorham boys are fun little kids, and like I said, I wanted to bring them today, but they had soccer games. I love to bring them here to CSDR games.
Oh, yeah. Well, we covered one earlier this year, and then we're back. Maryland School of the Deaf today. We picked 2 good football teams to cover. And we certainly welcome all of you who come in from Frederick, Maryland to watch your Orioles play football today in beautiful sunny California. Hot over there, nice and warm here too. Not a cloud in the sky. And no, after every game we don't go straight to the beach afterwards, but you know, it's not a bad idea this week. Catch some waves, maybe wrestle some sharks. Gio Visco finds the angle and spins and jumps and hurdles. How about that from Visco? If you thought the touchdown wasn't impressive enough, there he goes for another 2.
Oh, the spin move was awesome. Did a pirouette. Watch this.
Dancing with the Stars.
Watch the end here. This is pretty sweet. This should be... Oh, what a great play.
Oh, man. Put that somewhere.
I need to put that on the Inland Sports Play of the Week there. Pep Fernandez, we're going to have to send you that touchdown. What a great play.
Even more important, how about you cut that up and all of the Visco friends and family have that as a nice little memorable moment. Show people just how good of a football player you are.
So with an 8-point lead here.
Yeah, Gio Visco, we don't just do game balls on Fridays. Gio Visco, my game ball today. My virtual game ball. I didn't bring a football today. But
oh, that's right. Did you give out a game ball last night?
Yeah, credit to the Notre Vista has about 3 or 4 great running backs. Jaden Henderson, part of the Henderson tree. They've got this freshman, Lee White. He's going to be a superstar for them in the future, our running back, Lee White. Freshman, 5'7", 140 pounds, already running through guys. but my game ball goes to Dreddy Elaine. Late in the fourth quarter, they needed a guy to pound the ball, move the chains, and score the winning touchdown, and it was Dreddy Elaine yesterday.
The road runner, Dreddy Elaine.
The road runner.
Remember his brother Eddie is playing at RCC, starting
all right
defensive back.
So we've got that. This onside kick is muffed.
And I think...
and the Cubs got it. Darius Zaremka. Looked like he got it, but instead, the man who's down, Xavier Gamboa, he's holding on to his midsection. Did that football hit him? Nope. Nope, didn't hit him there. Just
got a little cramp.
That's a cramp, okay. Xavier Gamboa, the senior, with the recovery, with 6:01 to go in the game. You know, they've been running that onside the entire second half, and it finally worked out for him.
Yeah, if you're CSDR now, you have the football. You're going to have to run heavy here.
Right.
Try to eat some clock.
Just that dribbler got right past the shoulder. But nonetheless, you know, he might be called the road runner, but yesterday, I mean, I would have called him the bulldozer. He was running over guys.
Remember his brother, Freddie Hawley, was a running back at University of Hawaii.
You know, I was just messing around and got one of their programs. I didn't know this, but they have the fourth best running back for a single season
in the history of football.
In the history of high school football.
That is true.
Malacio.
Yeah, he had the for a game he had 573 yards. He also 4,459 yards in one season.
That is crazy.
The history of it's the highest in California state history, but it is the fourth highest in the history of the sport.
That's crazy. I can't believe he didn't pass Elaine's record of 64-32. He was almost there in one season.
Well, he only played 1 year there at Norte Vista. His brother, Chris Malesio, was the running back after him. Not as prolific, but still a great year from Malesio. In fact, they went to the CIF championship, lost in the last second to San Gorgonio, and Malesio, like I said, averaged an incredible amount of numbers.
Yeah.
Never went on to play college football.
9 yards a carry, 319 yards a game, and 56 touchdowns. How did you not go to college after that?
He just was undersized. He tried to go.
Gotcha.
He tried to go to RCC, and was going to play special teams, but decided he was just going to go to school and make a career.
Wow.
But, yeah, one of the fourth greatest high school season in history.
Sometimes guys just, good for the moment, Not everyone's built to be,
play college football.
College in the NFL.
But yeah, he was not a big back, but he could run. He started his career.
Are you kidding me?
He started his career at Citrus Hill, didn't even play.
Wow.
Transferred over to Norte Vista, and Ken Batdorf said, this kid is something special, and luckily, he found and saw the talent and potential in Malesio, and like you said, almost 4,500 yards in one season.
It doesn't make any sense.
Those are beyond video game numbers.
Yeah. 318 yards a game. I mean, maybe that's why he couldn't play in college. I mean, shoot, his legs must be busted.
Yeah, but Pep Fernandez and I called that CIF final game at San Gorgonio that year. And it was a tough loss for Ken Batdorf, who had the lead with 2 minutes left in the game and lost in the final seconds.
What an incredible football player. Now Dreddy Elaine, and I don't think Lee White's going to hit those numbers, but he should be pretty good in the next year or two for Norte Vista.
And I believe that White is a younger brother of the other running back you just mentioned.
Not Henderson.
Yes, I think.
Serious?
I think he's a younger brother, half brother of Henderson.
Just figured it was.
In fact, he was playing, I think, at Notre Dame to start the year, but ended up transferring to Norte Vista.
Yeah, they just got their paperwork in and whatnot. So
the cupboard will be full for a few more years for Ken Batdorf, who I know is going to coach after this year 3 more seasons, and then he's going to hang it up.
And that will take him past Bruce Rollinson's Southern Section record for longest tenured head coach. He is 34 years in. Batdorf at 31 right now.
So second down on about the 5-yard line.
Jaden Horsey-Peterson, number 2, with a big tackle. Clock is running, and that's right where the Cubs want it. Gio Visco has been terrific today. We'll see if he can punch it in. A couple of touchdowns for him this year. That gives him 52 for his career and 8 this season. Visco, design run, slashes to the 5, lunges to the goal line. Could this be the hat trick? Gio Visco, touchdown CSDR, 3 from Visco, and the Cubs are starting to pull away.
Wow. I mean, they have just dominated here the last 4 minutes of this half.
Going to take a big-time comeback for the Orioles. Gio Visco, terrific athlete. It goes to show Caden Adams is the incumbent, is the returning quarterback, but Gio Visco's been the guy they lean on here in the clutch, and he stretches over the goal line for 6. Visco to try and cap off another drive with a 2-pointer, throws a jump ball to Darius Zaremka. 28-12, Orioles all but done with 4:48 to play. We do have a flag down in the area of holding. Good luck, Pep Fernandez, cutting up the touchdown reel from Gio Visco. Too many highlights for him today.
Oh, what a good throw, thrown against his body.
Right. Too bad, I think that doesn't count. Yep, take the 2 off the board, 26-12, 4:48 to go. School of the Deaf, Riverside bringing in tight end Andrew Ruiz to play center. The cool thing about 8-man football is he is, if I'm not mistaken, a receiving threat. Or does he have to stay in and block?
I'm not too sure on that one. I think if you're a center, I think you have to stay in block.
And then the guards can take off. Here we go, 2-pointer. Jet sweep. Gio Visco has been the bell cow today, and he is buried well short. 26-12. Those 2 points, we'll see if that is 2 they'll miss later in the game.
So under 5 minutes to go here.
Yeah, if Jeff Gorham doesn't give the game ball to Gio Visco, he might just not be paying attention.
He has been great.
Credit to Tahoe, Herzig, Wilcox, who made the stop there. Tahoe is the Maryland game ball recipient. He has been terrific today, scoring all 12 for them and playing good defense. Meanwhile, for CSDR, their fun name is number 23. Last name Valencia Biskupiak. First name is Ziak. That's his name, Ziak.
That's a great name.
Right. Ziak, and then number 34, Apollo.
Apollo Creed.
Oh, that's where it is. There's the relation.
You don't know who Apollo Creed is, do you?
Sure don't. Trying to escape here without any more teasing. We got 4:48 to go.
He said Apollo Creed. I knew you didn't. Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Rocky movies. Remember the guy? Remember he was Rocky's opponent and then became his buddy. And then
that's right.
Then he was killed by Clubber Lang. You don't know Mr. T's character.
Oh, yeah.
And there's going to be a late flag there. And that's going to go against CSDR's Coach Adams. Not happy at all with that.
Yep.
That's going to tag on 15.
You want to get his blood pressure going, Keith Adams? Show him a late hit on a defenseless player. That'll get him going. Coach Adams, your house is on fire. Coach Adams, you're in danger. Nope. Coach Adams, your player committed a late hit on a defenseless receiver. What did you say? Some guys are just born for this stuff, I'm sure Coach Adams was in grade school looking over X's and O's plays, and is underneath his math work textbook. From the 27-yard line, the pass is complete to Riker Peterson, the sophomore, with 4:35 remaining in the game, trying to hurry up the Oriole offense. Cubs are one defensive stop away from coming out of here with a win, so this drive is crucial for them down the stretch of the fourth.
And also a win for California, my friend.
Oh, don't forget about that.
They represent California. It's right in the name.
We'll get a chance to rep California again on the 12th when they play host to Texas School of the Deaf. Bringing all the teams out of the country. Ortiz doing the best dance in the pocket. And not a good angle here, but that pass is incomplete. With 4:14 remaining in the game. Keith Adams, meanwhile, head coach for CSDR. He coached this team beginning in the mid-2000s as well and took a break, Just coaching can be exhausting. And then returned in the 2017 season has turned this team into a blue chipper. Holding penalty on Maryland School for the Deaf. We say it all the time here in the city of Riverside, Ken Batdorf doing it for 31 years, that's just incredible. It isn't your typical job being a head coach of a program.
No, that's crazy. 31 years, that's nuts. I tell him every day when I see him, that's the craziest thing ever.
Got to be a little crazy to do that job.
Yeah, but his daughter Brooke is over at Norte Vista. She is a freshman.
So no reason quitting now.
No, he's going to wait till she graduates, and he's going to, I believe, retire and
skip town
and retire and hang out with his daughter after she graduates.
So he's 59 now. He's been doing it since 28 years old. I would be in my second year as head coach of Norte Vista.
There's hope for you, Nick Rice.
Oh, yes. Well on my way. I think I passed the personality test. I already passed the culture test, so I think I'm well on my way to being a head coach of
a high school football team.
High school football. No, a flag football team, 8-man football team. I think this stuff's a lot of fun with all the gadget plays and, believe it or not, all the points.
Yes. So 4 minutes left in this ball game. Brings up a 2nd and 10.
I think you told me a little bit earlier about the good eateries in town. Are you going to go to one of those after the game today?
No, I'm going to run home and see my kids. I haven't seen them in Thursday night we had a game. Friday night I was out till the show got over at midnight. I got home after 1 o'clock, and I got up this morning to watch soccer at 7 a.m. I'm going to go home and watch TV and veg on the couch with my two boys who are at home.
Take us inside Gorham Manor about what a day is.
No, that's the secret. Stately Gorham Manor is there's a play for a touchdown.
Oh, there it is. Gwynn in the end zone with 3:22 to go. Gwynn said, "That's enough of that Gorham Manor garbage."
Yeah, let's score some points here. Looks like they're going to get a little closer. The onside kick will be coming. See if they get the 2-point conversion.
Zeke Ortiz, number 8, with the 14-yard touchdown to Mark Gwynn III. Cubs have been playing some real tight defense and coverage today. That was a rare one they gave up. A chance to trim the lead to 6. Ortiz under duress. And he's going to run all the way back to the 20-yard line. This would be some play if he can get out of this. And he somehow is still on his feet. Zaremka finally brings him down.
Holy cow, he was on there forever.
Lucas Go there additionally. 3:22 left. Cubs, if they recover an onside kick, this one may be over.
Yeah, that would have made it a 6-point game now.
I guess still 8. Technically, you could force a 3 and out, but it'll be very tough for the Orioles.
That was a game of tag right there.
Whew.
Yeah,
Did they rub butter all over that guy? Man.
all I know is the first quarter lasted 15 minutes. And that was at
and it was fool's gold. It was a tease.
So the last 3 quarters have lasted
2 hours. Sorry, kids. Oh, man. No, I did not go party after the game. The game was still going on. That was the party.
That was.
Well, in the first quarter, there was no helmets getting ripped off. There was no coaches yelling on the field.
No.
The Gorham Manor must be in a remote location beyond satellite recognition.
Yeah, Stately Gorham Manor is it's like the Batcave. Nobody knows where it is. It's somewhere out there in that Temecula Valley region.
Hey, boy, that location, whatever region, it keeps somehow moving.
I don't tell anybody
every
where I
couple of
move.
weeks.
Can't tell you where I live.
Huh.
I'll have people showing up. Remember, I went viral this week. Everybody
Oh,
knows who I am.
yeah.
Can't tell people where I live. For gosh.
Now you're saying things.
Oh, there's a flag. Coach Adams really upset getting on the field.
I know you were telling me, what is that? What is Sigma? And then a couple weeks later, you're with the Times,
Very hip. Very hip there,
Very,
Nick.
very hip.
Coach Adams not happy with whatever the call is.
I would be shocked if CSDR is in a tight game like this any game the rest of the year. This was their big competition going into the season. Maryland School for the Deaf, Orioles, 26-18.
It would be very cool to see a three-peat.
Yeah.
Two CIF championships in a row for the Cubs.
Well, their competition in the freelance division, Rolling Hills, they'll play. They will not play in the regular season. They are undefeated in freelance competition. Calvary Chapel, United Christian, Avalon, Vista, Meridian, some of the schools in their division, and none of them are undefeated anymore. So CSDR could, I believe there is a coaches poll at the end of the season to determine who gets into the top division and who doesn't. Let me go ahead and just put that in right now. CSDR is in.
Of course.
Top division. I'll tell you right now.
Let's see what they do here in the final 3:20, though.
Recovery by the Cubs.
We don't know how many timeouts they've called because we don't have a timeout.
We do not.
We have a old clock.
I believe Maryland has at least 2. They haven't really used much at all in the half. Gio Visco strolling towards the sideline. Nothing doing on that play. Taken down by Josue Sanchez. Maryland School of the Deaf. Their challenge is to figure out when you use the timeouts, whether now or maybe a little bit later in the game.
So USC goes to Michigan.
Oh.
And they lost.
Oh, boy.
Lost by 3.
No
Big
excuse.
house.
Right.
They were a 12-point favorite going into today's game. And
kind of like Granite Hills, huh?
Yes. That'll bring up 3rd down, and clock is going to run.
Well, USC is not the same team after old Caleb Williams is no longer there.
No, they won the first big one of the year, and now they have. I thought they should have beat Michigan today going in.
So now we've got Big Ten, USC, and Rutgers, and now in the Pac-12 you've got Washington State and South Florida. So, I think football, that's cool, but, Forget about all the baseball kids and all the volleyball kids that have to do that travel every week, you know.
Say heck with it.
Yeah.
But let's see, UCLA lost 34-17 to LSU at LSU today.
Nebraska hasn't beaten a ranked team in about 3,000 days.
And they lost today as well.
Yes, to somebody. We'll give you a college score update. How about that? Number 3, Ohio State beat Marshall. And Texas is number 1 in the country. Did you know that?
I did.
Huh.
Manning is starting today.
Oh, against Louisiana Monroe.
There's a good run there.
Oh, would you look at that?
Yeah.
Gio Visco. Boy, Gio Visco.
They have not started that clock. That clock should have moved.
Yes.
If I am...
So, Gio Visco, according to Max Preps, 13 runs in the first 2 games of the season. What are you doing only running him 13 times? Now, this guy is something special. And when they were down 6-0 early in the game, Gio Visco got subbed in favor of Caden Adams as their usual decision maker at quarterback. And, man, he has just been terrific.
So it looks like they're running the clock now, so 1:35 left here in the ball game.
First down away are the Cubs from 3-0 this season. Caden Adams slashes inside and is dragged down at about the 20.
And there's a timeout there called by Maryland
and Neil DeMarco. So they have at the most 1 timeout left. So this one pretty close to over. Gio Visco, my player of the game, and yours too.
Yes, by far. He was great today. But a nice way to spend a Saturday. Thanks for joining us here on Riverside TV.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, John Rice.
And we will, like I said, we won't have any high school games this week. We will have RCC versus Palomar, and the pep rally will be on Friday night.
Now, are your kids going to know that, or are you just going to leave on Friday and say, "Hey, I'm off to a game"?
No, we got to go. Have to go to the pep rally. So maybe.
That's right.
Maybe I'll bring them with me.
Oh, that would be cool.
Bring the animals, the Gorm animals.
Are they going to get a cameo or something?
You don't want a cameo of the Gorms. They're worse than I am on.
Oh man.
On the screen, they'll take over the entire set. But yeah,
did you guys lose a chair or something?
No, a chair was really small.
What is going on there?
That was when I was Jason McMains. I was very small.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here we go. 1:19 to go. Let's see. Who do they give it to?
Oh, Gio Visco, and that is a winner, folks. Keith Adams with 2 hands up in the air. All you've got to do is knee on the football, and fittingly it's Gio Visco with the clutch run to seal the deal for CSDR. Just a junior, set to be their full-time quarterback, runner, and everything. You know, I would say, how about just run that play every day the rest of the season? Just the design run. You get Silva in there blocking, Adams pulling at the running back position, Gio Visco. How sweet it is, victory formation. Cubs had to earn it the hard way and pick up the win here in this one, and are now 3-0. Our score should be 26-18. We got a little too anxious there with the points. They scored a lot, but not quite that many. 26-18, the final score in this one. The Cubs improved to 3-0. Orioles, Maryland School of the Deaf, gave it a real tough fight, but they fall to 3-1 this season.
Yeah, just a great win for CSDR. You lose 2 in a row to this team, and revenge was on their mind and looking for another title. And I know Coach Adams, he's happy with the win, and he's probably glad that everybody got out of here unscathed and nobody hurt. But they move on as the defending champs, look like the champions of the last 2 years, taking care of business that they lost the last 2 to this Maryland team.
Now the challenge is you beat the juggernaut. You've got to stay focused, pay attention. You've got a road trip in Fremont to battle CSDF next week, and it certainly is not easy, but this was the big one that they had to win, and they beat them in comeback fashion.
Yeah, great win. Great win.
All right. Thank you very much, John Rice. Thank you very much, Jeff Gorham, and all of our crew. Nick Rice saying so long from beautiful CSDR. Cubs come back to win this one by the final score of 26-18. Catch us for more Riverside TV coverage. Make sure to join us on Friday night for the pep rally of next week, and on Saturday, RCC takes on Palomar. Until then, have a wonderful weekend right here. We're signing off on Riverside TV.